Peace everyone, Unmask Art here and welcome to day 17 of Inktober. Oh goodness, we're getting through it pretty well so far. Yesterday wasn't the best, but today I think is going to be a little bit better because I learned my lesson. No more colored ink on this diaper paper. But before I get started on today's piece, let's go ahead and check out some of the work that you sent me. So here's one from Sad Kitty. I really like the composition of this piece. The face is just gorgeous. I love that piece. Really good. Here's one from Abigail. This one is for today's prompt, Graceful. It is Graceful today, right? I think it's Graceful. Here's one from Diane. I like this piece. Very mysterious. Kind of like an old 50s detective look in my opinion. Here's another one she did for Fat. It looks like a fat cat sitting at its empty bowl with a little slug nugget. Here's another one that she did for Screech. The owl seemed to be a really popular choice for the Screech prompt, so very cool. Here's one that Jennifer did also for Screech. Or no, this one was Crooked. This was the owl for Crooked. I didn't think of doing an owl, but she kind of has it slanted. Here's one from Mandy. I absolutely love this one. This adorable fat unicorn, and you see the little balloons are little slugs. Here's one from David. It looks like a puppy confused about his food or something. I think that's a little slug nugget down at the bottom. And then of course here is Elise's digital painting of my piece from yesterday, which I absolutely love. It's so gorgeous. In fact, well, before I get into that, here's another one from Sad Kitty, and that is the last one. So Elisa's digital version of my fat nugget was just so well done. I loved it. So I actually have a link for anyone that is interested in checking out more of Elisa's work. I have a link to her Facebook fan page in the description of the live stream. So make sure you go over there and show her some love because her digital rendering of the fat nugget was just so well done, especially in comparison to the terrible coloring that I did from yesterday. You can still see the page is very wrinkled, so you don't get the best look here on camera of what the colors look like. It's not as bad as it appears on camera. It's still pretty hideous because of this diaper paper. So I decided that I'm gonna put the colored inks to the side for now. I'm gonna play around with them off camera and in my other sketchbook. A few of you may have noticed that I posted a picture to Instagram earlier today doing a little study, a little practice, I guess, with the inks, kind of just playing around with them a little bit. And they look so much better on good paper that doesn't get all wrinkly and gross. So non-diaper paper is definitely the way to go. And you'll see some ink pieces from me in the future, maybe even some watercolor pieces, because now that I'm playing around with water and ink, I kind of want to dip my toes in the watercolor field a little bit. Anyways, let me say hello to so many people. Hello Anna, Gihan Kalia, Abigail, Elise, hello Elise, Wendy, Origami. Anybody else here right now? No, it's okay. Just the usuals, missing a few people, but glad to see you guys here. Thank you so much for sending me artwork, and Elise, thank you again for that lovely fat nugget. The fat unicorn, I know, it was so funny. Mandy is just great. The fat unicorn with the detail of adding the little slug nugget and tidbit for two of the balloons. You kind of have to look closely, but yeah, they're there, and it's funny. It's just perfect. It is just perfect for yesterday's prompt of fat. I had today's prompt. I actually had planned a little bit. I noticed a few people did ballerinas and dancers for today, and that was a bit inspiring. but I had already actually intended to do a ballerina, but I decided to go with a ribbon dancer instead, because I came across this really cool picture. This photo manipulation of somebody did of a zebra, and the zebra was essentially turning into a ribbon. And I was like, oh, how cool would it be to somehow incorporate a ribbon into a zebra in some way. And I snagged the picture and I kept it just as something to inspire me, and I put it as like a maybe idea for Inktober, and I had no idea what day or anything like that. And then I woke up this morning, I looked through some of my pictures that I gathered at the beginning of Inktober to help inspire the creative juices a little bit each day, and I decided, you know what, I'm going to do a ribbon dancer with the ribbon flowing right into the kind of silhouette of a zebra. And I'm going to incorporate just a bit of color, but for these diaper pages I'm just going to use the inked markers. I think that it's much safer, it doesn't wrinkle the pages. The colors aren't as vibrant, but I figured why not. I'm just going to use one color to kind of create a dual-tone piece, and hopefully it will look fairly decent by the end. A little bit better than yesterday's, at least. My design for today's prompt is lovely. Thank you, Elise. Looking forward to watercolor. Yeah, me too, Bridget. Yeah, I think it's going to be fun. I was watching I was looking at a few watercolor pieces earlier this morning. I was like, you know what? I think it's time to get into watercolors a little bit. I actually have the full set of the Faber-Castell watercolor pencils, and I never use them. They're like $300 for the full set, like ridiculously expensive. I never use them. I've never really liked their lack of blendability and their kind of rough texture. But it could have just been from the paper that I attempted to use with them, so I'll probably pull those out sometime and try to figure out something I can use them for in the near future, hopefully. Something just a little bit new. Hello, Parik. Hello, Noeticus and Hildy. Welcome to the live stream for day 17 of Inktober. So a little update on the Facebook group. So I recruited a little help from Fine Art Anna a bit this afternoon to help me get the Facebook group set up. It's not quite set up, so I'm not going to have a link or anything to that yet, but I'm getting there. I have kind of the rules set up, and essentially, you know, it's a lot of what we talked about. It's going to be a group that's focused on, you know, just encouraging and inspiring, and a place to gather information, regardless of the medium that you want to work with. So that's kind of the focus of the group, is just to learn, get advice. You know, you can the idea will be to post your artwork while it's still in progress, so that you can get feedback on maybe composition or direction. It's just a place that will help you create better artwork. It's not going to be, the focus isn't going to be sharing all of your completed works just for the sake of getting likes and people saying, oh, that's amazing, because that doesn't really help anybody progress as an artist. So that's a little bit of the idea behind it, thanks to all of you lovely people that have been you know, convincing me to start a new group. It is going to be a closed group. It's not going to be something public that anybody can join. It's going to be, anybody can join it, but they have to send a request, and then, you know, if they if they fit the criteria, I guess. Not quite sure how I'm gonna get it to work. I'm new to setting up a Facebook group, so yeah, just bear with me a little bit. I promise I'll have the group available by the end of the week for sure. That way you guys can start sending your requests. Yeah, so I'm going to ask a few of you to be moderators. That way we can kind of control the types of posts that get posted in the group. That way we can just have a little bit more control of, you know, strangers that try to sneak in and you know, ruin the group. I did settle on a name. The name is going to be the Unmask family, and it's going to be, the way I describe the rules is kind of like family values, you know, like what the purpose is, and I just, you know, I want to keep it authentically us. You know, those of you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's perfectly fine for people that we don't know to come into the group. I'm not saying we got to keep it, you know, super private or anything. I just want it to be what we have in the chat, what we have during the live stream, people coming together, supporting one another, sharing each other's, you know, complimenting each other's work, and kind of cross promoting amongst each other. Because I feel like we've all kind of gotten to know each other over, you know, the past however long you've been following my channel, and I just want you guys to have access to that kind of group, I guess, for a lack of better terms, off the live stream, so that you guys can continue your conversations if happens that you know, I finished live streaming and you don't really have, you know, a way to continue communicating amongst one another. Then the Facebook group is hopefully going to help facilitate a place where those conversations can continue. You guys can continue discussing techniques and your artwork, and, you know, just get to know each other and continue to grow the family. So that's what the focus, or what I would like the focus of the group to be on. What I don't want it to be for sure is just another place where people join to share their artwork in the best light, just to hopefully convince a few people to go over and like their art page. Or, you know, I think most of you are familiar with that kind of strategy that people try to employ with when they join groups. I mean, I'm not innocent of it either. In the past, quite some time ago actually, I would certainly join just about any art Facebook group I could get into, and I just essentially spam my artwork in there in hopes to convince people to come over to my YouTube page. But all the energy that I was wasting doing that, I could have spent it much more wisely in building the real relationships that I feel like I have done so far. So yeah, that's kind of the sales pitch for the group, I guess. So I look forward to having it available so that people can, you know, begin communicating off the live stream with one another. And as soon as I have it, I will have the link in the video description. Hello, Renate and Kezarater and Wicked Illusions. Yes, that's a good topic. What should we think? What questions should we ask for those who are joining the group? In a few groups, there are questions like what medium you usually do, etc. But what else could we ask? I think that's going to help weed out the potential spammers and people that are more interested in themselves rather than interested in helping others. I haven't even finished the group cover photo. For some reason I cannot get the digital dimensions of the cover photo in the group to be correct. I've scoured the internet so far to find what the pixel dimensions are, and I've used what people say the dimensions are, but I can't get the photo to actually fit inside the space. So I'm kind of struggling with that right now. And I don't want to really share the group too prematurely just for the sake of having it available to you guys. I'd like it to at least look a little presentable before I share it. So 851 by 315 pixels, I'll have to try that. The pixel size that I tried, because of what I found, was 821 by 250, and it was way too big. It would not fit. And I could not, for the life of me, figure out why it was too big. It didn't seem like too big of an image. Every time I went to upload it, it was stretched out way beyond the border allowed for the picture. So I could not figure out why it was doing that. Facebook is really annoying sometimes. And there's literally like 40 different pixel sizes for everything on Facebook now. So it's like, oh, your cover photo for your fan page is a totally obscure pixel size than your group cover page, and it's just obnoxious and annoying. But I promise I'll figure it out. I'll get it right, and as soon as I do, I'll kind of share. Now, there are a few of you that I would like to get into the group a little bit early so that you can help me kind of organize it a little bit. But one of the other ideas that I have a couple ideas. So I would like your input on these ideas here. Hold on, let me see. One question could be, tell us, what does Unmask Art Family mean? The answer might be interesting to hear. Yeah, actually, that is kind of interesting. Definitely, we are the family, and we must discuss this together. Totally agree. Couldn't agree more. One question could be, what is the purpose of a Facebook art group according to them? That could be a good one. People who want to become members must answer what the nugget is. Yeah. That's always a safeguard to determining whether or not the people are legitimate. Usually leave some black on the sides when I do cover photos in groups. That way it does not cut the actual picture. Still looks nice. Yeah, the problem that I'm having is that even though I'm making the pictures the correct digital dimension for what Facebook is telling me the pixel size is, when I go to upload it, it's ginormous. It's like super zoomed in, and I can't get it to zoom out or correctly crop it in any manner whatsoever. So it's just extremely obnoxious at this point. Just about to say that, no. If you don't know Nugget, then you can't join the group. Anyways, back to what I was trying to get to was a couple of the ideas for the group. So the first idea that I have for the group is to create either, now I think I'm going to do a yearly. Now I'm really thinking long term here. But I'm thinking about making folders for kind of like a gallery. So one of the things I hope to avoid for the most part in the group is just having people post their final pictures of whatever it is they're working on. Now, I'm not totally against it in the sense that, I'm happy to have people post their work. I'm not trying to get people to not post their artwork, but a place to organize everybody's pieces that they've kind of completed through the year into a single folder. That way people can of course go through and look at everyone's work through the year, and then each year we start a new folder, and then it's a place just to click through a bunch of lovely work to get inspired and whatnot. So that's kind of my idea to help keep the discussion board a little bit clean, I guess, in the sense that it won't be oversaturated with a bunch of people's posts about, oh, I did this piece using this, and then like that's the end of the discussion, even though that's not a discussion at all. That's something that I would like to avoid. So that's one idea. The other idea is that I know that a lot of you, want to become successful artists. You aspire to be artists, or in some manner, and you are artists, and you have your own YouTube channels, your own Facebook pages, and all that stuff. Maybe you have your own blog or your own online store, anything really. And I was thinking about adding like each month, maybe trying to feature someone that is in the family, that is really putting in the work to be not necessarily a professional artist, but at least an aspiring hobbyist with the intention of building an audience, building a fan base and whatnot. And then at the top of the page, we could have like a featured family member where we just pin it there for 1 month, and they get, we'll have like links to their pages and their blog or their store or something like that. That way people, if they click on it and they like your work, then they can go there and support you in any way or whatnot. And that way we can kind of control the amount of spam by having it set up so that you get a little bit of a benefit from the group instead of just 100% learning, I guess. I don't know. That's kind of my idea. I would like to do that, because one of the things that I've always enjoyed doing on my channel is, as my channel has grown, I've always kind of liked connecting other artists or other people to other artists. Like if you really like my channel and you really like my art, that's fantastic. But maybe you're interested in other types of art, and if I happen to come across an artist that I really like, I have no problem, sharing that person with all of you, because if you guys like the artist too, then fantastic. If you don't, that's fine too. But I'm not against connecting other people to other artists that they might like more than me, because I'm not greedy in the sense that all the attention has to be on me. So that was just something I was thinking about, because it can be inspiring to get new followers, new fans, and things like that. it would be cool to have a group that shares other artists. Yeah, I agree, Ankush. Yeah, it can be a really good motivator. Um, yeah, I don't know if each week I would like update the group the group cover, but yeah, I mean, if the group gets big enough, I suppose it would drop from 1 month down to like 1 week or something like that. Um, of course, by that point, I would need a few other admin to help me run the group. But right now, I think I'm going to keep the admin just for me until I feel like it's a bit too overwhelming, and then hopefully I'll be able to find somebody willing to be another admin. But yeah, those were just a couple ideas that I wanted to run past you guys as far as organizing the group a little bit. Because I don't want to just have the same kind of group on Facebook. If I'm going to put the time and energy in to running and setting up the group, I want there to be a few new benefits to this group as opposed to some other art group. So I really appreciate your input and advice on what you'd like to see in the group, what you would like to not see in the group, those kind of things. Oh, hello, Brenda. You're in. Okay, I read that one. Yes, clear rules and rewards and such are vital. I think I have the rules pretty well laid out, and I tried to keep it simple, but also thorough. So yeah, that's something that would probably kind of work on still a little bit, but for the most part, I wanted to keep it kind of simple, but geared more towards like learning art and inspiring rather than just sharing for the sake of sharing. That's where I want to get away from, is that stuff. What we need is non-selfish, egoless people like me. Okay, thank you. To make the group really good. Yeah, I agree, Ankush. I think the people that we have, especially on the chat and stuff, are definitely the kinds of people that you want to be in a group with. The best people on the internet. We, the current family, will advise and check the newer members to help them understand how we work and function as a family. Yeah, that would be a little less work for me. You love the start of those rules? Yeah. That I kind of came up with those totally in the spur of the moment type of thing. Oh, hello, Michael. I didn't see you come into the live stream. Yeah, it does feel like you've been away for some time. Well, we appreciate you being here, Renate. So I'm glad you like to. I'm glad you like the chat that happens during the live stream. I do too. Sometimes it's so much more interesting to follow the live stream chat than it is for me to continue drawing. Oh, that's a good idea, Shiny, to call it the fridge where people post their finished pieces. Hello, Sabrina. I am very good. Thank you for asking. Trying to hold on a conversation and draw my ribbon dancer here. Alright, I think I'm gonna fill in, yeah, I think I'm gonna fill in the color really quick with the black before moving on. Actually, I should erase it first, do a little bit of erasing, get rid of any of the excess graphite first. This design here that I created, of course I created it in Photoshop first. That's kind of how I start my mornings, actually. And I was gonna make it a little bit more complicated, and I was really close to adding more colors to it, but as I was making it more complicated, I actually ended up liking it less and less with each new element I was considering putting in there. I was thinking about doing kind of a floral thing in the back with some flowers and stuff, and as soon as I did, I stopped liking it. So I decided to keep it reasonably simple in nature. So there's really all I have to do at this point is fill in my sketch. And that's pretty much the piece, but it was going to be a little bit more complicated, but I kind of liked it clean and simple, so I went with that. I even decided not to put a face on my dancer, so she's very cut out, I guess you could say. Very anonymous. Who has tried dip pens? I actually have a dip pen. I just bought one. I used to use it a lot. I used to never use pens like this. I always used the dip fountain pens, and I was quite good at it. It was back in high school, but it's pretty hard to transport that stuff to and from school, so I never really did any of my inking at school, and if I wanted to do inking at school, I had to be a little bit more reasonable with my pen choice. But I I guess I never really fully got back into it because all the nibs that I keep finding and buying from Jackson's Art Supply are just terrible. I used to have some nibs that had such a fine point on it that I could literally draw a strand of hair, like thinner than a strand of hair. But now I can't find a nib that is worthy of using. I have like 15 different nibs in there, and they all have like this leaking quality when I touch to the paper, where no matter what I do, it's a really thick line. And I haven't found a nib that lets me control it the way that I used to. Because one of the things I always liked about the dip pen was that I could change the thickness of the line just based on my hand pressure. Honestly, just using the pen is really good practice for, kind of fine-tuning your motor skills in your hands, the real delicate touches that you need to create. Good morning, Silverne. Yes, I agree, Coffee Cat. The dip pens with a good nib make the best lines. As long as with a bit of practice, have to put that little tidbit in there. No pun intended. Kind of put my hand in the ink, and I'm afraid to smear it. I sure hope so, Elise. Yeah, I hope it's gonna look good in the end. This one is going to take a little bit of time, a little bit of patience with the filling in here. I'm not going to use any of the brush. I'm going to just use my brush pen here, the Mangaka brush pen. And then once I'm done with the black ink, I'll use just a bit of color to create kind of a third dimension a little bit. Because with just the black ink, I think it looks a little flat, I guess, a little plain. But when I added the color in Photoshop, it was just the right touch. And I decided to grab kind of a pink color, kind of a bright salmon pink from my markers, and it's kind of a color. It's a color I wouldn't generally grab. It's outside of my normal choice, so I hope that you guys will like it, because it's a bit different for me. I went ahead and went with a color that I most likely would not have grabbed. So I decided to, put myself out there a little bit, just so that I'm not doing the same thing over and over again. And I hope that it pays off. Hello, David. Yeah, I started, so a few of you may have noticed that I started the live stream about 30 minutes before it was supposed to start. And that's just because I have some things I gotta go do right after the stream. So I apologize if any of you missed the beginning. I know I'm notorious for scheduling out the live streams and then starting them much earlier than I initially planned. And I was a little late. I was a little late for scheduling out today's live stream. I forgot to do it last night. I was in a bit of a rush as I was trying to prepare for my Polish class, which is going really well, by the way. I'm having fun with it. So far, we haven't covered anything I don't already know, which is always a good feeling. You know, the simple introductions and numbers and the alphabet. I've known the alphabet for quite some time, so I'm not completely clueless in the class yet. But I kind of feel bad for a few of the individuals in the class because I feel like the teacher might be rushing just a little bit for my sake, because she is quite aware of how long I've lived in Poland, and my pronunciation of words is 1,000 times better than anybody else in the class. Half the people in the class cannot pronounce Polish words really at all. And so I feel like she might be rushing just a bit too much for the other students, because there's like 3 or 4 of them that literally have zero, like absolutely no idea anything Polish. So I hope she slows down for their sake a little bit, because I'm in no rush. I got all year in this class, so I'm in no rush whatsoever. But yesterday we were going over numbers and whatnot, and yeah, I had the thought that there was a couple people that already knew the numbers just like myself, and then there were a majority of the people that could not pronounce 3. 3 and 4, I would say 3 and 4 are really probably the hardest numbers to say in Polish. 6 maybe, but 3 in Polish is a lot more of just a sound rather than a word. It just sounds like a sound. It doesn't really sound like a word at all, because it's tsh, and it sounds weird to me, and I've been saying it for a while now, and I hear it all the time, and it still just sounds weird to be a number. And a lot of people confuse 3 and 4 in the beginning, because 3 is tsh and 4 is cztery, both of which sound super weird and are kind of hard to pronounce in the beginning if you don't practice them. And nobody could say them yesterday. And yeah, we kind of sped right through numbers and straight into to be, the verb to be. And yeah, and we started conjugating different different forms based on pronouns and stuff. So we were really busy yesterday. We even stayed over a little bit late, which I was kind of annoyed by. I didn't want to stay late because I have to ride the bus home and I have to go wait for the bus. So sorry, I hope I wasn't drawing too far off camera there. I didn't realize how far I was moving my notebook. I'm gonna try to be mindful as to where I'm moving it. I'm not zoomed in too much, so hopefully it's not hopefully you can see the drawing okay while I spin my notebook around. Yeah, it is always fun to learn a new language. I kind of feel like the worst person there, though, in the sense that I'm fairly certain that everyone there is learning their third language, whereas it's still technically Polish is really technically gonna be my second full language that I'm going to learn. I speak Japanese, but only enough non-conversationally. Like I wouldn't be able to hold a full conversation in Japanese, but I would be able to like order food and get around town and things like that. I'd be able to take care of myself. I just wouldn't be able to, have a conversation with people. And so Polish is going to be different because obviously I'm going to learn the language to a further point than I know Japanese. But everyone in the class, speaks their native language, which is not English. We have Ukrainian, we have Bulgarian, we have Nigeria, and still this one girl that I don't know where she's from. I can't tell from her accent or anything of where she's from, but I can tell that English is not her first language. So as far as knowing a second or third language, I'm far behind in that regard to the class. But I feel like just about any American would be in that position where most Americans don't know a second language. Oh, hello, Steve. Good to see you in the live stream. Your second language is Arabic, and I know enough French to get along pretty good, and enough Russian to be dangerous. That's funny. You can speak Kiwi. I'm not familiar with that. I'm sure we have quite a few different languages in the live stream, along with countries. I know we have quite a diverse group of people. Our family is very diverse, and so I'm sure we have a whole bunch of languages. Anna, she obviously speaks Polish and English. and she's pretty good at reading German and kind of gathering a decent amount from her limited German vocabulary. She's also quite good with Spanish. She always liked the Spanish language, so she kind of taught herself quite a bit of Spanish, and so she's good with languages. She's good with languages for sure. I imagine if she wanted to learn any language and she had the time to do it, she could just. I imagine she could just sit down and start learning it. I don't necessarily have that ability. I've never really been able to organize the strategy that works best for me to learn the language. So I struggle with it quite a bit. All right, ballerina is 99% colored in. I'm going to start working on the zebra here. I want to try to get these curves really, really smooth. You speak Texan and English. I speak fluent sarcasm. How is your Japanese, Coffee Cat? I know you live in Japan, so you should probably be pretty fluent, yeah? When I was in the military, I was going to go to school to learn Arabic, but my military career was railroaded by a few select individuals that couldn't tolerate my honesty or my diligence to my shipmates' well-being and rights. So I never got to go. Learn Arabic. But while I was in the military, I got a top secret security clearance because I needed it in order to do the job that I wanted to do, which was to be an interpreter. I've always been fascinated with the idea of speaking a second language, and I've always been a little envious of people that grew up in conditions that either forced them or gave them the adequate opportunity to learn a second language. But instead, I feel like I spent more time mastering English than learning a second language. But I kind of wish that I would have been a little bit more academic while I was in high school, so that I could have learned a second language, even if it was not necessarily a language that I would have preferred to learn. But I feel like Spanish is a language that should be a mandatory class in America. I just feel like it's too important, too widely used of a language in America for Americans not to be able to conversate in Spanish. And Yeah, I don't think that's ever going to happen where it's mandatory, but I really think it would be much more beneficial to Americans if they made it mandatory to learn a second language from from elementary school, where they start introducing the second language all the way up through graduation, because that's what they do. That's what they do in most European countries where English is not the primary language, but they teach their students English from pretty much the very beginning. I just think that the benefits of knowing a second language are just too far overlooked in America. Alright, let's finish off this last loop here. I think I'm going to finish this loop and then fill in the rest of the black just on this portion. And then I can erase, well, I'll erase the graphite at this point for the loops, and then I can just focus on the rest of the zebra. All right, so it's coming together. Oh, thank you, Shiny. I'm glad you're liking the drawing so far. You worked for NASA. Now that's something cool to have on your resume. The coolest thing I can say is that I operated an aircraft carrier during flight ops. Of course, not very many people can say that they did that. It's only a like a $70 billion piece of equipment that I had total control over. All right, let me grab this again and start filling in. And we are slowly but surely getting this piece done. You know, I always underestimate the length of time that something like this takes because I look at it and I'm like, well, all I got to do is fill it in with black. But I want to do it with a precision of a brain surgeon. So no matter how kind of simple I feel like I create a design, there is just no easy way to cleanly fill in these black lines without really taking your time. And I'm pretty good with a pen as far as like working quickly, but even then, it still takes me what feels like forever. Do you dub your foreign movies and series, or are they in the native language? I hate dubbing so much. So no matter what the original language is in, I always watch movies and shows in the original language if I can. I avoid dubbing at all costs because I cannot stand it. It is disgusting. It just irritates me to have the characters be speaking their native language and then like English not matching up with the mouths. Oh my gosh, it's so irritating to me. I just cannot stand it for the life of me. And besides, the other thing is I feel like when a movie is dubbed, it steals the original actors and actresses' talent. It just removes their talent because you can't get their true expressions through the dubbing. And so I always watch with the original language. I will read. I put subtitles on everything anyway because it helps Anna understand the English a bit better when she can double check what she's hearing through the subtitles. It also helps me too because the echo in our room is not ideal for any type of audio, so it's really actually hard to understand a lot of what people say in movies in the first place. So subtitles are just always on anyway. But yeah, I never do the dubbing. I always do subtitles instead. I should always estimate and double it. Yeah. Yeah, that sounds like a good strategy. What is my preferred way to send your pictures of our work? You can just send them as a message over on Facebook. I forgot to say that at the beginning. When you finish your Inktober pieces, I have the link in the description of the video. You can just send me a message containing a picture of your work. And try your best to get a nice square picture and with minimal things in the background. With also try to get decent lighting as well. I do my best to repair and to make some of your guys' pictures look a little bit better in Photoshop while I'm preparing everything, but I can't work miracles. I can't retake the picture for you. Sometimes the pictures are blurry or they're too small, and I have to stretch them out, and I know it's not going to look really that great or anything. So just take the best pictures that you can with the most optimal lighting. Try to get as close as you can without cutting anything off. And you don't have to worry about adding your names or anything like that, because I will make sure I put your name on your work. That doesn't take me very long. It's really just the lighting correcting that I try to do that takes that takes a lot of time. Okay, Elise, you take care. Thanks for coming to the live stream. You have a good night. Alright, now I'm switching back to my other pen. Let's do some outlining now for our zebra here. Try to make sure I have everything correct. I don't want to accidentally fill in white where I want it black. That would be just a devastating mistake. So I'm going to try to put in like a dot or something wherever it's supposed to be black to help me keep track. Help me keep track of what's black and what's white. So do any of you guys have any questions for me regarding anything? I'm trying to think of anything else I wanted to talk about during the live stream today, but I can't quite recall if there was anything else I wanted to discuss specifically. So if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. What were, I know a few of you are doing the Inktober. What were some of your guys' ideas for today's prompt, Graceful? Interesting. I'm interested in hearing what you guys came up, because I think ballerina slash dancer is probably fairly common. So did anybody else come up with a different idea for today's prompt? You were thinking of Jackie Onassis or Princess Diana, but I haven't done it yet. Huh. I don't know Jackie Onassis. Not familiar with that. I have no idea what to do. I'm thinking that maybe I'll do a sarcastic Graceful, like something tripping. Oh, that's kind of a funny idea. Yeah, that's a good one. You can do a dancing ballerina nugget. You could always do something funny like that. I mean, what's more graceful than a slug? So I'm getting to some of the smaller detail. It's taking a little bit more concentration, but I think you guys are probably fairly used to that by now, wouldn't you say? This is black. This is black. Gotta constantly be vigilant and make sure I'm making the right stuff black. All of this is black. Oh my God, done. Yeah, well, I look forward to that, Mandy. I'm doing Slug gracefully skating down a steep banana. That is a brilliant idea. Oh, you're drawing while listening? I saw some people use alcohol with pastel in order to get the small details. Have you ever tried it? I have tried it actually. Yeah, I've used alcohol with pastels to do a bit of blending on the earlier layers, but I wasn't a fan of mixing wet with the pastels. Anything wet with pastels, I'm just really hesitant to do it because I like working with them dry. I like not having anything wet to deal with. So I only tried it a couple times. It works well to blend. I mean, it kind of acts like a better version of colored pencil and odorless mineral spirits. It's kind of a better version of that, I guess you could say. But yeah, like I said, I kind of just prefer keeping it dry. But it would definitely be helpful, for getting in there and getting those really fine, small, detailed shapes. Since you have a little bit more precision with alcohol. You were thinking about doing a cat. Yeah, cats are pretty graceful. I love using oil pastels and blending with my finger. I've only used oil pastels like one time, and I don't know if I blended them with my finger. I'm going cross-eyed with all these lines here. I got to be really careful where I mark which ones need to be black, because I was really close. I was really close to messing up there. I'm gonna do this. I'm sorry if I keep popping my head in underneath the camera. I try to keep my face as far away from the page as I can, but I'm sure you can imagine the level of difficulty it is to work with such fine lines from a distance. Did I miss anything? Oh, hello, Alan. I'm going to put a little bit of fur texture back here on the zebra's mane. I never noticed how cool the mane of a zebra is in comparison to a horse. Like a horse has usually the long flowy type manes, but zebras don't. They kind of have like mohawks. It's kind of cool. As I was going through a bunch of pictures of zebras to find a pose that I liked, I was noticing both the similarities and the differences between the zebras and the horse. Yeah, it kind of made me like zebras a bit more. Not more than horses, just the animal in general. It's going to get real difficult up here in the face. So all these lines start to merge. Okay, I gotta trace out where it's supposed to be black again, so I don't mess that up when it comes to filling this in. All right. They're the punk rockers of the equine world. Yeah, I agree. Yeah. Okie dokie, guys, my shift is over. All right, Riz. Yeah, I'll probably be finished with the stream before you get home, but drive carefully, travel safely, or whatever, and take care. Has anyone lifted preparation from watercolors before? Not me. Yeah, the dancer is kind of the zebra tail. This is a zebra's hind legs here, and all that's just the zebra tail. Alright. Gotta try to... I have my sketch so lightly drawn here. I gotta refer back to my reference photo to see if I'm messing up. Okay, the ear here is black. And around the ear, yeah, this is where my sketch was not as good as it should have been. That's going to just be blocked off like that. And let's see. trying to find, okay, this stripe here. That's good. This stripe here goes up to the ear. Yeah, this wraps around the ear. All right, just like that, and then there and there. There we go. And then this is all black. I think it will look even better once I start filling in the rest of this zebra here. Okay, this comes down. Oh, gosh darn it. Where does this go? Okay, that's... This is so hard to see. There. What is that? Where is this supposed to be going? I think it goes down here like this. Yeah. I'm getting all cross-eyed. I can't tell which one's supposed to be black and which one's supposed to be white. This is so much harder than I thought it was going to be. This is all black. That's all black. Alright, I'm almost to the face entirely. So I'm just going to add this line here. There we go. That's a little bit better. I'm skipping the face. I'm going to color stuff in now a little bit because it's getting too hard to tell which part's supposed to be black, which part is supposed to be white, and I don't want to mess it up. Especially at this stage of the drawing. I'm going to get rid of my graphite. Maybe that will help a little bit. Just having an overall cleaner inked image. This will also start to show the zebra anatomy off a little bit better than what you guys currently are looking at. How long have I been streaming for? So it's, what, an hour and a half now or something like that? So a bit longer than what I anticipated. I really thought that this stream was going to be less than an hour. And I have to leave. I have to go grocery shopping with my lovely wife so that we can eat food and live another day. Inktober has been so, the hardest part about Inktober and doing these daily live streams is finding time to shop. Oh my goodness. Grocery shopping has become so tiresome during this month. But we're more than halfway done now, so it's just smooth sailing from here, I guess, as long as I don't run into any difficulties as far as coming up with ideas for the prompts. I have no idea what tomorrow's prompt is. Somebody care to let me know in the chat? I'm a little behind on my preparation. I've kind of so before Inktober started, I had the first 15 days kind of the ideas written down as far as what I wanted to draw, but for the last 16 days I have nothing, so I'm kind of waking up in the morning and trying to figure out each day what I'm going to be doing. It's not exactly the best way to go. Just how did you come up with the zebra coming from the ribbons of the dancer? Okay, so tomorrow is filthy. Oh gosh, the heck am I gonna do for that? Um, Filthy. Oh jeez, I'm just gonna draw a dirty nugget, I guess. We got fat nugget. Tomorrow we're gonna have dirty nugget. Steve, to your question regarding how I came up with this idea, so I kind of explained it a little while ago, where I said that I came across this picture that somebody did of a zebra. It wasn't a drawing. It was a photo manipulation. They took like a photograph and they did some photoshopping to it to make it look like a couple of the stripes, like right in the middle, started twirling up into the sky. And I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. And it gave me this idea of drawing a zebra where the zebra was coming undone. So I was going to draw basically this. That was that's what it inspired. And I saved the picture just for the sake of inspirational purposes, and then when I came across today's prompt, I decided, you know what, I am going to do a dancer. That's my original thought for today's prompt was I was just going to do a ballerina in some kind of, dancery type pose. And then I thought of what would be cooler than that would be doing a ribbon dancer, and then it made me think of the zebra. So all of these little pieces came together all at once a little bit for me, and so that's how the idea came together. Now, not all of my ideas come together like that. I wish they were all that easy, but they're not. Anna just came home from work. So you guys might be blessed with another sound of her sneezing during this live stream if you just hold out for a little bit. I'm sure she'll sneeze eventually. Dirty nugget, I'm thinking about trash. Alright, some of these lines are really, really small, so I might have to fill them in with a smaller pen. I might not be able to use this brush pen for too much longer. I think this one might end up being one of my favorites. It's going to be a good one. See, everything seems to work out a lot better if I just don't use the colored ink. Everything goes a lot smoother, and I don't have to complain about this diaper paper. Everything looks better on camera too when I just work in the black. So I think I'm going to, that settles it for me. No more colored ink for the rest of this Inktober anyway. All right, I'm gonna fill in some of these larger larger stripes here, and then I'm going to switch, I think, to a smaller pen. Oh, you gotta leave for Nate? Well, you take care. Oh, and you too, Michael. Yeah, it does come out a lot cleaner looking than using the colored ink. If you're terrible at coming up with ideas for Inktober, one of the things that I do, even when I'm not looking to create something new, in my spare time, I like to just browse through DeviantArt and just see what other people are creating. I do it all the time. Like, some people scroll through Facebook. I like to scroll through DeviantArt. I like to do it more than Instagram, actually. I sometimes will scroll through Instagram, but I just feel like no matter what you're looking up on Instagram, I just feel like there's just too much random stuff that people post in the wrong place. Like people use like art hashtags to post like selfies, and it just I mean, you get that on DeviantArt as well, but you don't get it as much because for the most part people are on there for just art. So it's a little bit better for the browsing, in my opinion, than Instagram. Seems to be too many people obsessed with gaining followers and stuff. They just hashtag their whatever pictures with anything that they think might grab somebody's attention. But the funny thing is, I'm actually not that active on DeviantArt anymore. When I first started my channel, that was like one place that I really posted everything, and I always kind of mentioned people could go to my DeviantArt page or whatnot, but yeah, DeviantArt, geez, it's really gone downhill, in my opinion. And plus, it's really it's almost as bad as the YouTube trending page, in the sense that I feel like nobody notices anything, and it's just so oversaturated with nonsense that it's basically dead to me. Spare time, what's that? Yeah, that's totally true. Yeah, spare time, that's a good joke. Alright. Now this zebra looks a lot better. Everything is really coming together here at the end. Yeah. Alright, I gotta switch to a smaller pen because this is just not gonna work. I'll use this one, and I'll fill in these smaller stripes here. There's a funny Halloween idea, hashtag, that's someone who's all messed up and addicted to social media. Hashtag. I actually don't get it. I don't get it. I might be missing something. I remember when hashtagging got like really popular a couple years ago or whatever, and like all of my friends on Facebook would just hashtag just whatever they would type. They would just hashtag random words and phrases that just didn't make any sense to do, and they had no idea why they, like, what the purpose of hashtagging was. I mean, I'm sure there's still plenty of people like that, but I haven't thought of that in a long time. Alright, I gotta figure out what I'm supposed to do here on the face. I gotta use my smaller pen now. Well, no, I get hashtag is like a play on words for hashtag, but I don't get what I don't get what that is for Halloween. I don't know. Is it a food? I don't know what the play on words is. That's what I don't know. Oh, thank you, Abigail. I'm glad to hear that you've learned a lot from me. That is always a good feeling to know that that you've learned a lot. I apologize if my head is in the screen. I'm trying to follow my lines and I'm probably not doing a very good job. An old witch? Hashtag. Yeah, I don't get it. A phone in their hands with bugged out eyes. All right, I guess I don't know. I guess whatever you guys say, I'll just take your word for it. Sounds weird to me. I'm messing this all up. Hashed means she looks worse for wear. Oh, okay. I never heard of hashed as being a word used that way, but okay. Hag. Well, I know hag is like an old lady or something, but I didn't know that it referred to a witch. Yeah. Okay, well, I guess I learned something new. That that one threw me off guard a little bit. Alright, I need to try to organize my stuff going on here, because it is all over the place right now. I cannot get... I'm going to try to fill in some stuff, and hopefully that will clear up this mess of lines. Sorry, I know I have to keep putting my head in the camera. Hopefully not too much. Zoom in a little bit more. I can't figure out which direction would be best for me to draw this, so I keep going back and forth. Alright, there's that. This one... Jeez, what the... What? I've got this all weird. I'm just gonna make it up. Yeah, I'm just gonna make it up. So this is gonna come down, this is gonna be black, this is gonna go up. This is gonna go up. Yeah. That's the way the face is gonna go. Wasn't originally designed that way, but whatever. That's the difficulty with this. I really was not expecting this to be as hard as it is. Really was not. Got your graphic pencils yesterday. Easy to erase. That's cool. Not familiar with graphic pencils. Oh, hello, Scott. It is going well. Kat, good morning to you. I miss anybody? Wow, 30. That is quite warm. It felt really warm here in Poland too. Maybe around, I don't know, in my flat today anyway. Had to have been like 24. I haven't had to wear my hoodie indoors. Fill in the rest of his face here, and I'm gonna add a bit more to these lines. Just like that. All right, let's get this filled in, shall we? And then I can finish this piece off finally by adding a bit of color with my marker. Whoa, wrong direction. So there is the final zebra in all its glory. Alright, let's grab the pink here. Let's see here. right. Now I'm going to use kind of a brightish pink color and hopefully not completely destroy the look of my piece. Do a really loose coloring. I have everything already planned out, so I'm going to try to follow it the best that I can. Oh, thank you, Mandy. Glad you like it so far. Just final little details with a bit of color here. A color that I would not normally use, but decided to have a bit of fun. This is a much brighter pink than what I actually initially was going to choose, but like I said in the beginning, I wanted to go ahead and do something a bit outside of my normal color choice, because I thought since I'm not using the colored ink, and I'm gonna just use markers, I might as well, get outside of my comfort zone a bit with the color choice. And hopefully you guys like it. I want this pink to go on nice and even, so I'm going to do a couple coats of it just to make sure. Well, hopefully listening to me is not so boring it puts you to sleep, Shiny. Hopefully I can keep the live streams a bit more interesting than something that you would choose to listen to fall asleep to. Maybe one day I'll record an audiobook or something. If you guys want to hear my voice as you fall asleep. That sounds weird. It sounds weird for me to say that, but I wouldn't say it if somebody didn't already give me the idea. You guys are the creepy ones that like the sound of my voice. Just so you know. Oh, did you guys hear it? Did you guys hear her sneeze? I don't know if she's listening to the live stream in the kitchen right now. She probably is, but I'm never boring. That is a fantastic thing to know, for sure. I don't ever want to be boring. I try my best to keep the conversation moving along, but I gotta be honest, sometimes I do struggle. It wouldn't be a live stream without my wife sneezing. She was a little under the weather last night, and when she woke up this morning, so hopefully she's feeling a bit better today. Alright, let's add a bit of pink to our lovely zebra over here. Almost complete, everyone. Almost complete. So for that sake, make sure that when you finish your Inktober pieces to go ahead and send them over to me over on Facebook so that tomorrow I can share all your lovely pieces. I've been really enjoying the work you guys have been sending me. Some of them are just so hilarious. And I look forward to waking up each day to a bunch of messages of you guys sending me your work. They've just been really great throughout the month, so keep up the good work. And I hope that everybody's been really enjoying Inktober. I am really going to miss these live streams every day with you guys. I won't be able to keep it up after this month for sure, at least not every day, but I really think I might be able to add another live stream to the week of my normal routine, so at the very least you guys will get more live streams, and for sure I will try to I will try to add a live stream that's at a different time for those of you that can't make the normal Monday stream, which was always somewhat early afternoon my time. So I'll try to keep one in the later afternoon to accommodate a few more of you lovely people. Alright, just about done here. Just gotta fill in last bit of muscle structure in the legs. Is it all that sneezing? Yeah, you guys still hear her. Alright, I think that is going to be about it. Little bit of pink right there, and a little bit more up on the face. Help contour the zebra. Do another light layer. Alright, that is it. Yes. I think I am satisfied with that. Caps over here. So that is it for today's Inktober piece. It goes so much better when I don't use the colored ink. So I think that's just enough color. I'm not going to do anything else to it. So again, thank you all so much for coming over to the live stream. I hope you had fun. I had fun hanging out and chatting, and I'm satisfied with this piece. I like this piece a lot. I wasn't sure about the pink. It's not a color I would have normally chose. I don't even think I've ever used that marker before, but I think it was a good choice. Adds a delicacy to the overall gracefulness of this Inktober piece. No nugget in this one. Some of my pieces I want to keep a little serious, you know, and this is just one of them. So no nugget. You can imagine Nugget, he's running off in the page, so you don't see him. But anyways, thanks again for watching. Be sure to send me your Inktober pieces, and I will see you all tomorrow. Take care. Peace.